Okay, pause YouTube. SixftHax here. What's up? How's it going, everybody? Have for y'all the team builder for the round 1 of P4G Season 3 playoffs here against the Maryland Torterrapins, coached by Under the Radar Kelly, who I think ended up being number 7 overall in making it into playoffs, and last season he did make it to the finals, so I'm pretty nervous. His squad is very scary. Of course, if you guys are excited for this, make sure to hammer arm that thumbs up button down below. Let me know in the comment section below what are the 6 Pokemon that you would have brought to this game if you were prepping for our opponent here. So the main thing going into this match is that Kelly has one of the few weather teams in this tier, or in this format, in the tier 3 below format, in the draft is what I'm trying to say, and that is Sun, which is kind of scary because in Sun, Victreebel kind of just wrecks our entire squad, so that's going to be very big to deal with. It's going to be a giant pain to deal with, essentially. Like, it's going to be a big issue to try and take that down. And then he also has some scary offensive mons like Machamp and Sneasel Machamp. In general, Guts Machamp, I have no switch-ins to. That thing is just absurdly terrifying to try and deal with and check, so we have to be very careful with that. Above that, he's got about 9 Pokemon that he can honestly bring to this game. Like, I really don't expect Crocodile, and I definitely do not expect the Carnivine, but the other 9 do have a very good chance of coming to this game, and that's what kind of made building for this a little bit difficult. But I did make my own squad this time around. Normally when it comes to P4G lately, I've been making my own teams, which is kind of nice because it just kind of keeps me on point, essentially. So the main things that I'm worried about are the Sun, the Machamp, and the Sneasel. He could have some type of like offensive Metagross. Like, I really expect Metagross and Druddigon to come this game. Xatu, as I said, along with the other 9 mons that are not Crocodile or Carnivine, have a really good matchup. I definitely do expect the Sun Core, so that's definitely something that we're going to have to watch out for. However, though, we do have some threats of our own against him. Noivern, Nidoking, Heracross, those 3 are very scary. Salazzle as well. Like, Salazzle and Nidoking are very tough for him to try to switch into, so those 2 are definitely going to be able to help us out in this match. We could potentially bring Webs with Swirlix, which would kind of mitigate the Sun matchup just a little bit, but he does have the Xatu, so don't know if I'll really end up bringing the Swirlix. Regardless, though, I am kind of confident in this team. Hopefully we can pull out a W. If we don't pull out the W, then at least we were able to make it to playoffs once again in P4G, and we're facing our buddy Kelly Under the Radar. So yeah, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into our first team member here. We have Noivern, aka Nate, making his return. Nate has been a huge MVP throughout this entire season of P4G, and it's really awesome. So we are rocking the nice Choice Scarf Noivern. Of course, Choice Scarf Noivern is just absolutely amazing, man. This thing is great in this matchup basically because this outspeeds Victreebel 100% in the Sun. Now, we don't quite knock him out because I don't think he really even needs to run like a purely speedy Victreebel. He can definitely afford to put some bulk into Victreebel. So if I can just get off a little bit of chip on Victreebel, or if it turns out to be like Life Orb, like Z-Move growth would be really scary. Even like Life Orb growth is absurdly terrifying. If he's something like that, like as long as I get off like Stealth Rock damage and a little bit of chip damage, we should always guarantee him in range of where one hit should knock him out. Flamethrower in the Sun, I think actually does have a really good chance to knock him out, even if he is max HP. I think it's a damage roll, but after the rocks, it's guaranteed KO, so that's really good. Air Slash is a roll, not a roll in our favor like the Flamethrower in the Sun. U-Turn is nice, mainly for pivoting because I 100% expect Aromatisse to come. Like, he's got no reason to not bring Aromatisse this game. It has a pretty decent matchup. It's super fat as well, can pass Wishes, spread Toxics maybe, and without it, Noivern just kind of comes in and bends them over. So yeah, obviously Sneasel is kind of a nuisance to this set, but for the most part, this should guarantee outspeed everything and anything on his team. And the issue with this set is that if he does know I'm Scarfed and he does have Sneasel, he could potentially Pursuit Trap me. So that is something I'm going to have to be careful with. But once I'm able to get rid of the Aromatisse, this can come in and I just click Draco Meteor or once this and the Metagross are gone, I should say, then we can just kind of click Draco Meteor. If the Aromatisse is weakened enough and the Metagross is gone, then we can just kind of spam Air Slash. And I really don't want to bring Hurricane because I'm pretty sure in the Sun, Hurricane is only 50 accuracy. So while, yeah, the power is super nice, I don't want to take the risk of missing. And then, of course, Frisk is going to be amazing because we're going to be able to see what items he's exactly running on his walls and his offensive threats, whether they be leftovers, berries, life orbs, bands, scarfs, specs, I guess, things like that. And that should give us some good information going into this match. So the next mon that we have here is going to be Chomp, aka Nidoking, rocking a nice bulky set. The main reason why I wanted to go with the bulky set is because if he doesn't have an offensive Xatu, which it's very likely he could bring defensive Xatu this game, but I guess offensive does have its merits. But if I know Xatu is defensive, then this is able to take one Psychic guaranteed from full HP. And once I'm able to get rid of Xatu, that means I can hopefully get on my rocks later in the match. Xatu in general is just going to be really annoying, especially if it is a very bulky set, because not too much on our squad is able to one-shot it, and that's going to be absolutely terrifying. Plus Xatu outspeeds Nidoking and Heracross naturally, and then if I'm at -2 with Noivern, that's going to be really bad. So I do expect a more bulky Xatu, but if it is mixed defensive, we are still going to be able to do a lot of damage to him. Hopefully we can put him in range of where we guarantee knock him out, or if I can do a trade, I may be willing to do that, because if Xatu is gone, that opens up a huge window for one of our sets, as you'll see later on the team builder here. But the speed that we are running is enough to outspeed Victreebel and Metagross if they are running Timid or Jolly max speed. Obviously Victreebel out of Sun, and then we are already outsped by things like Ninetales and Sneasel, and then we just outspeed everything else except for Xatu. Yeah, Xatu, Sneasel, and Ninetales, those three outspeed Nidoking regardless. So I figured that we could afford to run a little bit of bulk on the set. If I really wanted that, I could have gone modest max special attack, but I figured that this benchmark is still pretty good, because if we had a timid nature, this is actually what our special attack would be if we were timid. So it's kind of like we're a timid Nidoking, but we just have some good bulk. If you get what I'm trying to say with the modest nature, and just, I don't know, it makes sense, I think. And between our dual stab and ice beam, we legitimately hit everything for super effective and neutral damage. There is really nothing that he is going to be able to switch into this Nidoking, because we're basically going to 2 KO something. We're going to absolutely obliterate something with this Nidoking. This thing can definitely just come in and be an absolute menace for him to deal with. So yeah, something, I guess, like AV Donphan, I guess, could be a thing. Like Shuca Berry Metagross, I definitely expect, I think, if he is going to bring Metagross. Like Shuca Berry just screams like this set makes a lot of sense, and it seems pretty perfect. So I know he's definitely going to have to take some measurements to try and deal with this, because Nidoking is a huge offensive threat to his team. Basically, my Nidoking is like his Machamp to our team. Like, we have no good switch-ins to Machamp. He has no good switch-ins to Nidoking. So that's pretty good. But Nidoking outspeeds Machamp, so that's a little plus for us. So yeah, hoping that Nidoking here can definitely put in work. We get up rocks. Noivern's job is a lot easier, and so is going to be the job of Wingspan here, aka the Heracross. So this time we are running max attack on this Heracross here, mainly for the fact that with Adamant Guts Facade, I think we do have a really good chance to straight to a KO, even max defense, max HP Aromatisse. So I don't really know what kind of Aromatisse he would want to run in this matchup, whether it be Fizdef, Spadef, or even mixed. Heracross will be able to 2 KO it. Substitute is really nice if I'm able to sub up on a predicted switch out, because his best ways of trying to deal with this are going to be like Rocky Helmet Donphan and like Rocky Helmet Rough Skin Druddigon. That way he's wearing me down with the Rocky Helmet, potentially the Rough Skin, and the burn damage that I'm going to be taking over time as well. So I figured that being behind a sub is going to force him to leave in those mons instead of him trying to pivot in and out, because if I'm behind a sub, he needs to break my substitute. So then that way Heracross at least should be able to get 1, hopefully 2 KOs. That's what I'm kind of hoping that this set does. It just kind of knocks out 1 or 2 of his walls, so our potentially late game sweepers can come in and hopefully win the match. So again, the speed is to outspeed Victreebel and Metagross if they're running plus speed nature, and then Xatu, Sneasel, and Ninetales already outspeed Heracross. I thought about maybe bringing Scarf, Moxie Heracross, because that on paper actually looked really good. But if I locked myself into the wrong move, something was able to come in, set up, or Aromatisse could pass off a Wish, and that could be absurdly annoying to deal with. And then if I don't knock off Druddigons Rocky Helmet, then Rough Skin Rocky Helmet are going to be doing so much damage to me. And with the immediate power from Guts, I figured that this set was probably going to be just a little bit better to deal with. Like, he can check Heracross a little bit better than he can check Nidoking. So I'm hoping that Heracross will be able to help Nidoking, or vice versa. Like, they both help each other out immensely in this battle. So that's what I'm kind of hoping will happen, is that one opens up holes for the other to come in, and then just kind of take advantage of them and just go to town, basically. So with Facade, Knockoff, and Close Combat, we hit everything. I really didn't think we needed Mega Horn. Like, if you look at his team, there's not really much that Mega Horn hits that Close Combat, Facade, or Knockoff would be hitting. I guess we're doing a little bit more damage to, like, the what's it called, the Victory Bell, but Facade already absolutely nukes it. And if we're behind a sub, that's going to be amazing. A sub is just really good in general, because it could potentially force him to try to sack off Ninetales or Victory Bell or Sneasel to try and break our sub, and that in itself is going to be really huge for us. So our next team member here is going to be Oki, the Umbreon. I accidentally opened up my Adobe Premiere. I don't know why I did that. You're gonna open up after I finish recording. Okay, well, anyways, but yeah, we have okay, the Umbreon here. Oh, there's a little featurette. So yeah. But this is a very defensive Umbreon, because this is basically the only real thing that I want, or that I wanted to use. I mean, I guess we have Slowking, but you're going to see Slowking later probably. But right now, Umbreon is basically the only thing we have that can switch into Ninetales. If he's Nasty Plot Life Orb or Nasty Plot Z-Move Ninetales, then that's a problem. It's a really huge problem, actually, now that I think about it. That's going to be really scary. But if he's just like purely off, so basically if he does a Nasty Plot, then this deals with Ninetales 10 out of 10 times. We can switch into 2 Life Orb hits. We can switch into a Fire Blast in the sun, followed up by an Inferno Fire Blast in the sun. So a Z Fire Blast after a regular Fire Blast doesn't even 2-KO Umbreon. And then in the sun, Moonlight gives us back 1/3 of our HP instead of 1/2 of our HP. So that in itself is going to be really good, because we're going to be able to take advantage of Kelly's son with our Umbreon here, and that's going to be really amazing. Now, the only issue is that this does kind of invite in the Machamp if we were to bring it, so I need to be very careful on how I deal with that, because if Machamp is just switching in for free, then it's going to be able to just get a free KO basically, because I'm going to have to sack things off to it. So I need to be very careful how I play around the Machamp so it doesn't come in and just click buttons. So that's going to be very scary. The good thing though is if I'm able to actually land a Toxic on the Machamp, that might be better for us in the long run, because the more Machamp stays in, the more damage is going to be taking every turn. So that's where Protect also kind of comes in handy to deal with Machamp a little bit. But Toxic Protect hits just about his entire squad except for the Victory Bell. Protect also allows us to be able to stall out a couple turns of the sun if it comes down to it. He could even go like Trick Room Aromatisse and like Trick Room Metagross or something crazy like that. So Protect is just really helpful in general, and the Leftovers recovery is really huge. And the Foul Play, I figured, was like the best blanket move to kind of hit everything, because well, we don't hit super effectively, we can Toxic if anything, and then over time we're going to be able to wear them down. So yeah, just a very standard Umbreon set here. I guess Wish over Moonlight would help, but I just want the instant recovery and being able to get back 66% of my HP instead of only 50. So the next team member here is going to be the start of our pretty cool offensive core that I thought about right before I finished making the team here. So me and Kelly should be playing in a few minutes, but this is really cool here. So I'm super excited about this, because first off we have Trick Room Gourgeist. Now this goes in. This is going to be paired up with Trick Room Slowking. Now both of these kind of work hand in hand. Essentially, Gourgeist can come in. It can Trick Room on almost his entire team except for a Weather Ball, Victory Bell, and except for Ninetales in the sun. And unless he is Choice Banded locked into Icicle Crash, or he does have Icicle Crash, I'm pretty sure that we can even set up on Sneasel. I did run a couple calcs. Also, I guess if he gets super lucky with like flinches with Air Slash on Xatu. And besides like those specific scenarios, this should be able to guarantee live any one hit. We can then Trick Room, and then from there, if his team is weakened, this can potentially even sweep, which is kind of cool, or this can just kind of weaken his team around. Or what I can also do, what I may most likely end up doing, is taking a hit, Trick Rooming, and then going for the Explosion. So by going for the Explosion, I not only nuke whatever's in front of me, but then I also get to bring in my boy Hulk here, the Slowking. And Slowking, after a nasty plot, a Z Psychic at +2 OHKOs anything except for Metagross and obviously Sneasel, but Sneasel gets mollywopped by the Scald. So that's going to be really, really awesome. And then because Slowking already has pretty good natural bulk, I can still kind of use this as a pivot into some of his offensive mons. I could even pivot into the Ninetales if for some reason he doesn't end up bringing in the Ninetales with Solar Beam, which I really expect an offensive Ninetales in this match. Like, I really think it has a great matchup. I think we can actually even live a Z Solar Beam, and then we can Trick Room, and that's going to be amazing. I was really stuck on whether or not I wanted Psychic or Psyshock, but because Z Psychic does more damage than Z Psyshock, I figured that extra bit of damage would be better in the long run, and I still have ways of being able to break down the Aromatisse as well. So yeah, between Gourgeist here and Slowking, we should be able to hopefully deal with the Sun Core that he has, and then Slowking has a really good chance to come in late game. Hopefully Trick Room and sweep. If I can Trick Room and Nasty Plot, this thing is going to get a kill 100% guaranteed, and that's going to be amazing because then, thanks to Regenerator, I can keep pivoting in and out, gaining back my HP, and potentially have another chance to come in the Trick Room or just Nasty Plot and then go from there. And then, of course, as I said, Gourgeist is going to be here to Trick Room, Explosion, or Trick Room, hit something, and then explode to allow Slowking to come. And then, of course, Frisk is going to be really nice to see again what items he's potentially running on his mons. So yeah, guys, that is going to be our team. A little bit more offensive than I like to take it, but defensively we can't really check too much on Kelly's team, especially because Machamp is terrifying, offensive Ninetales is terrifying, and then Victory Bell in the sun is absurdly terrifying. So yeah, that's kind of why I went with more of an offensive-ish route, with the only real wall being Umbreon here. And then I guess you can count Gourgeist and Slowking as tanks, more or less. So yeah, let me know what you guys think about the squad. Let me know what are the 6 mons that you would have brought to this game. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow on Sunday with the actual round 1 of the playoffs for P4G. So with that being said, guys, thank you all for watching. I will see you later. So later, everybody.
No matter where you're at, I'm not here to make friends, it's time to attack and deplete your HP with a final smash. Don't make me turn around and pull a 6-foot hacks. 6 foot hacks, yeah. 6 foot hacks, yeah. 6 foot hacks.